manager. I prefer to kill him.
That's very good. Guillaume, everybody, welcome to the Spurs 9501 live stream. We're all live here. I've got myself, Ray, in the UK. I've got Nico in Norway, Adam in UK. We did have Cam in Florida, but he's gone away. We got Eric in Houston, and we've got Guillaume in Brazil. So everybody, welcome to the live stream. We're having a special live stream today because of the amazing news that we've got Antonio Conte as our new manager, which is great. I want to hear what everybody has to say about that. And guys, one other thing, if you want to call in, you can call via WhatsApp for free on this number, and we'll pipe you into the show, and then you'll be able to talk to everybody and have your voice heard. So please call in. If not, then just give us your comments in the chat box there. So everybody, welcome. So I'm going to go to Guillaume first from Brazil. Guillaume, welcome to you. It's been a long time since you've been on the channel. Give us your thoughts about the news about Conte being a manager. Tell us what you think. Guillaume, can you hear me?
Yeah. Jam's there as well.
Is he Jam there as well? I can't see him.
He's in backstage.
Cam, why don't you go? Tell us.
Well, there is a. I think the main thing for us is for everybody. Welcome everyone. For at last, I see some smiling faces. Tottenham fans and smiling faces really don't go together for the last few years. That's for sure. But at least we can celebrate, congratulate. We've won nothing. We've done nothing.
I'm quite surprised, actually.
But we've got one of the best managers. The best managers in the world.
Just one second, Guillaume. One second, Guillaume.
We got one of the best managers in the world today signed for Tottenham Hotspur. And that in itself shows from all your faces what a great day it is to be a Spurs fan. Now, what happens in the future, we'll see. But at least we can celebrate today. Right, Ray?
Yeah, that's great. I'm celebrating. I don't care what happens now. We've got one of the best managers in the world. I'm happy. Let's come now to Adam. Well, how do you think? And then we'll go around all the panel. Adam, what do you think?
Just ecstatic, really happy, massive positive, massive step going forward. Well done to the management for actually appointing someone decent for a change and not hunting around the basking basement of Pound Stretcher or anyone desperate to take the job. Finally got a world-class manager in to go with a world-class director of football, both friends, both worked together 3 years at Juventus. Happy days.
Excellent. And we're obviously going into more detail. Nico, you're so happy you're lying down. You're actually smiling. Nico's smiling today, everybody. Nico normally doesn't smile, but he's smiling today. So give us your thoughts, Nico.
Actually laughing.
Yeah, I'm very happy. I think we needed a manager with some aura and some authority, and I can't wait to see the system he's going to implement and to whip some of our players. So I'm very excited.
Great. Eric, I know you've been doom and gloom for the last few weeks. How do you feel today?
Man, so yesterday I woke up and I check. First thing I do is check my phone, and my friend said, "I hate you." I'm like, man, it's like y'all stack new knowing y'all about to get Conte. I jumped out of the bed so quick, and then this morning when I saw the news, man, I jumped out of the bed again. First thing I did was hop on the TV and turn on Sky Sports News. We get that over here.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, man, I was so happy. I haven't been this happy in a long time. And I know we're going to go into detail later, but I feel like this appointment is very different from Mourinho 2 years ago.
Yep, good news. Jam, welcome. I'm glad you could make the stream. Give us your thoughts, on the new appointment of the Godfather is the new manager.
I'm ecstatic. I'm ecstatic, man. You know how it is. It was amazing. It's amazing that we can come away from that Man United win with the loss and be the winners in the long term. Quite easily. Gosh, it's so good for. We've given Levy so much stick over years. And he's finally paying us back. It seems like, I don't want to flip flop so quickly, being Enoch out like last week to being like, Enoch next 20 years is fine with me. But if they can really put their money where their mouths is like they have now, it's just, there's no reason why we shouldn't really be a top club. We're trying to prove that we are with this appointment. And it's massive. It's massive. It's not an understatement saying that this is much bigger than the Jose Mourinho.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, Cam. I mean, this is a great because he's got an 18-month contract, which is fine. It's what Tuchel got, and the rumors are he's got 100 million to spend. What finally do you think made Daniel Levy change his mind to pay this guy 15 million a year and give him 100 million?
Sheer desperate. I mean, the looks on your faces last week and the looks on our faces for the last 3 months. He's seen that with 60,000 fans week in, week out. I mean, it wasn't like we were mediocre. It wasn't like we were bad. We were just absolute sheer desperation. I mean, the team was going absolutely nowhere. How they pulled this out of the hat, I really don't know, because Ray, you sat here, Adam, you sat here, Jem, you sat here, same with you, Nico and Eric, and everyone said, Conte, why would he come to Tottenham? Why would he come? There's no way we're going to get Conte. You were all bargain basement hunting to see who we could get. And hats off to Levy and to Paratici for pulling off something that nobody expected. We all wanted Nuno out. There was no doubt about it. He was gone, but none of you expected him to them to pull it off. And they surprised and shocked us all. And that's the main thing. I mean, the question that I want to ask, which I'm sure we'll get into, is the fact that we've gone from being a club with no money to suddenly being able to pay him £1 million a month and pull out 150 million. So when you do shake that Tottenham tree, there are a few pairs up there I can see.
Yeah, that's a good point. So I want to, Adam, just discuss this. Why has he finally decided to come? I know he said he was too emotionally attached to Inter, which is fine. It doesn't really matter. Why has he decided to come to Tottenham? We're in distress. We got Daniel Levy, who's a nightmare to work with. Why has he decided to come? Shed some light on that.
Because he knows it's the best team, doesn't he?
Not yet. Not yet.
It's not the best team yet, but it will be the best team. But seriously, why has he come here?
The positive
you don't know,
for
do
me.
you?
Yeah, I do. Well, I've got a couple of answers. The positive is
$1 million a month.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He doesn't need the money, though, but anyway.
Paratici, done an amazing job convincing him to come. Man United didn't go for him. This could be his way of showing Chelsea, that they should have listened to him and stuck with him, and Man United should have gone for him. And I think he sees it as a massive challenge that Mourinho failed. Nuno obviously wasn't anywhere close to. Pochettino made quite a big jump in changing things, and here Conte will come in now and just absolutely smash everyone. And the great thing about it is there will be no player who can hide now.
No.
And come out and criticise and the coach and all that. Hopefully, I think this is the guy who might be able to get Dele Alli back.
Yeah.
If he can't,
he's gone.
There's no hope for Dele Alli. No hope.
Yeah. Eric, I mean, what do you think he's going to do in his first few days? Obviously he's going to look at the squad, see the players. What should you think his priority should be, for the first few matches and weeks of his tenure? Eric?
Coming in and changing the mentality already. I mean, I think that's the first thing you can do. I mean, joining in the middle of the season is hard because you can't really change things tactically right away. I mean, you can implement a small change, but coming in as a big manager against a poor squad at the moment right now, first thing you got to do is just change the mentality of the players and win over the players too. So yeah, I mean, I'm not expecting much. I mean, we hear that he won't have a work permit until maybe Sunday, so he probably won't even be on the touchline against Vitinese. But on the training ground, change the mentality right away. Set the tone.
Yeah. Okay, great. Nico, what players should be worried now that Conte is coming in? Which players should be really shitting themselves? Sorry, I shouldn't swear, but which players should be pooing themselves?
Yeah, I want to reverse the question. Who's not going to be worried?
Well, go ahead, take that one then, yeah.
So, but I just want to say that very interesting from a tactical standpoint. And also, I remember he had Victor Moses as a left wing back in Chelsea.
Yep.
He made him play really good. So maybe finally we can see the best of Doherty. What do you guys think?
I tell you what, if we can get Doherty playing like a Premier League player, I'm going to run around naked around the Tottenham Stadium if he can get him back to a normal player, I tell you. And you don't want to see that.
No, we don't. We don't. But I want to just add, Ray, I think it's important to say that where I probably think that we really should increase our expectations is if you look at the next 6 games that we've got, Conte should be winning them all. And the first thing that you see from what Conte is going to do, which is every single one of you have been screaming, which is go 3 at the back and
That's
push
the
up
three
your
I was
wing
gonna
Is
back.
that a given, Cam? Is that a given that he's going to do that?
Everything that I have
done.
seen Conte do, it is a given. And I just wanted to check. That's what he did at Chelsea. That's what he did at Inter, and that's what he did.
He
at
only did it at
Juventus.
Chelsea after he lost 3-0 at Arsenal. Before that, he's
Yeah.
playing 4-4-2.
Yeah, but I mean, he can. I think he can change the game. I think what you need to know is there's a number of stats here that's really interesting of what he did. The change that his improvement on the first season under Conte. Chelsea goal scoring increased by 44%. Inter's increased by 42%. Games won by Chelsea in his first season went up 150%. Inter's went up by 20%. Possession went up by 86% at Chelsea, 19 at chances created went up by 86%, and at Inter 19%. And possession went down at Chelsea by 2% and down by 10% at Inter. So his style of play is very, very different. But in both teams, his winning teams that won the league, they were mainly played 3 at the back, and he pushed his wing backs up very high. I think if you're going to talk about players that need to be scared, I'd like to go around this table and say, who's your laziest player? For me,
Let's go around that. Who's your laziest player?
It's Ndombele, and Ndombele is the laziest player I have seen who don't stand a chance. And I'll stop there. There's loads of other ones too, but I'll let you say everyone else.
I'll go. Eric, who's the next? Who's your laziest player?
Dele Alli and Ndombele.
Yep, I was going to say. Jam?
Harry Winks. I hope Harry Winks.
He's not playing, so he can't be lazy.
I mean, he's lazy as heck, and he's definitely gonna probably not get any game time.
Yep.
Gone in January. Dele Alli has 2 months to prove himself. And Ndombele, I mean, he's lazy, but he doesn't have any reason to run. Who on the team has given him a reason to run? Maybe now, someone's going to light a fire under his butt and actually have some motivation to play, with players of his caliber around him, I would say. If you're in Ndombele and you get the ball and literally no one around you has got any skill to get you the ball, to move the ball forward, you don't care. So hopefully that changes. Just like I'm not sure who said it, but the attitude in the team needs to change drastically. We've already heard from Kane saying he's excited about this disappointment.
Oh, have you? I didn't realize that. No, didn't hear it.
Well, I don't know. It's reported.
Anyway, he might have said it. But my laziest player is a Dele Alli. He's got to be. If this guy can get the best out of Dele Alli, kudos to him, I tell you. Nico, who's your laziest players?
Yeah, the 2 mentioned, of course.
Yeah,
I'm more interested in Ben Davies and Eric Dyer. I was thinking to myself, maybe Dyer actually.
The good thing I like about Antonio Conte, he's not a Portuguese speaker. So Dyer can F off with his Portuguese, yeah?
Yeah, but he's...
That's probably multilingual. It's probably
Dyer can speak Italian as well. For
I'm
God's
sure he
sake.
speaks Italian, yeah.
Yeah. Adam, who's your laziest players?
Dyer.
I think it's Dele Alli and Ndombele. Interestingly enough, I've heard people sort of slate, and you've seen Dele Alli's been lazy in training and stuff like that from the Amazon documentary. And weirdly enough, under his first season with Mourinho, even though he was bad trainer in training, he actually covered more of the pitch than any other player, which is surprising.
Yeah, he did.
And Ndombele, I think he's got 3 or 4 games, and then that will be it. He'll go back to his usual self and back to the bench, and then he'll be gone.
Welcome, Kev. Thanks for... Yeah, I think Kane has been pretty lazy, actually. That's a good point. He's been really lazy recently. I mean, Cam said it. The last match, he didn't even bother running. Josimar, thank you very much for your comment. Conte wanted Ndombele wins at Milan. Is that true, everybody? Did Conte want Ndombele at Milan? If it's true, then things could be looking up for Ndombele.
Well, I think after watching him play at Tottenham, he won't be winning him at Milan or anywhere else recently, that's for sure. So true, it might have been at the time. I don't think that's very clear. I mean, you could argue he's going to bring Eriksen back with him, since Eriksen can't play in Italy.
Yeah.
So, Eric, now that let me get you into this conversation. So now we've got, we've got probably one of the best managers in the world. We've got a decent squad, not a great squad, but a decent squad. What should we be aiming from this point onwards? And, everybody else, feel free to chime in. But what should we be aiming? What's a realistic aim for us now?
No ifs, ands, or buts. No ifs, ands, or buts. Europa Conference League. No ifs, ands, or buts. All right, that's
What?
something that's something that should be a given.
Yeah.
Second, a League Cup or an FA Cup doesn't have to be both. It has to be either or and a top 4 finish. That's the only way I can see, you know. But
So how are you
I
going to
mean,
measure success? Because he's coming in mid-season, he
Yeah,
hasn't had
he-
a preseason.
mhm.
How do you measure success for Conti in the first season?
minimum, make us competitive again.
Yeah.
That's all. You know,
Yeah.
if we lose, I want to lose where we gave it our all and we can see like, oh man, we tried, just wasn't our day. That's how we want to lose. We don't want to lose like Man United where we just didn't care at all. And, you know, just let them dominate over us. That was just terrible. But if we're gonna lose when we give it our all. But make us competitive again. Make us in games. You know, our XG has to go up exponentially. You know, with disappointment and defensively, we can be better. And I think with a back three, it would be even better. So, you know, just make us competitive again. Pray for a top 4. It should be a given the Europa Conference League and either a League Cup.
Okay, excellent. Facebook user, you didn't give your name, but thanks for that. League Cup will do it. Yeah, I'll take a League Cup.
Okay.
Adam, I just wanted to give you a stat before I come to you. This 5,000 days since we last won anything. 5,000. Today is the 5,000th day since we won anything. So just bear that in mind. What can we realistically achieve with Conti this season, Adam?
Yeah, definitely a cup, without a doubt. Definitely a cup. Capabero, FA Cup. I don't care. Definitely.
Just a cup, yeah? Do you think you can actually break the drought now for 13 years or 8 years of hurt, whatever it is, 13 years of hurt?
Yeah, I think he will do. And one of the amazing things that hasn't been mentioned yet is another credit to Levy and Paratici that they've actually brought him in so early that he's got 2 months to work with the squad and look at players to bring in for January. They haven't waited till January and then gone right last minute. Who can we get in? So that's a massive, massive plus. But yeah, I think, you know, we've got so many possibilities now, and I hope he changes their mentality that we actually beat Chelsea instead of always bottling it against them. That we can beat Liverpool, and I think the sky's the limit.
Great. I love that optimism. Nico, what would you be happy after the first season with Conti?
Yeah,
2/3 of a season, really.
Top 4 for me is a goal which is achievable, and I also think he had some demands when he signed the contract, so he has to get some players in the January window. So that will be very interesting. I was shocked when he actually signed. So
I still can't believe it. I think it's I'm just wondering if April has come early and it's an April Fool or something. I'm not sure, but
yeah.
But
he has to have
sorry, Nico, go on.
Some demands. He has to get some demands through to sign the contract. So very optimistic. Yeah.
Jam, I mean, I could go on, Eric. Go ahead. Go on.
I just want to say this, and even with me, I noticed my, you know, me being hypocritical. But notice how our tone changed when we gave Nuno a 2-year deal, and now we're giving Conte an 18-month deal, and how like when it was with Nuno, it's like, oh, the club doesn't have faith in him. But when it's with Conte, it's like, does Conte have faith in us? You know. But I mean, that's just what happens when you have a big time manager coming to a club that wants to be big time.
I don't personally see any issue with the 18-month contract. Thomas Tuchel
It's
had
got
an
to be with his
18-month contract.
Yeah.
Jam, with a question from a Facebook user. What would you do with Harry turns up when he wants Kane? What do you think Conte's going to do with Kane now?
So yeah, Harry, I mean, it really comes down to Kane himself. Is he going to be the player we know he is, or is he going to continue being whoever this guy we've seen all season is? You know, I mean, because it's not just Tottenham he's been playing badly for. He hasn't done anything for England in quite some time. So it's clearly, I don't know what his deal is. He's got to figure that out. And I think Conte is not above dropping Kane. So that's one thing I'm excited to see. If Kane isn't playing up to par, there's other players there that may perform. And that's really what it comes down to. We need our players to perform. Conte is going to do as much as he's going to do, and we know he's going to do it well. One of the reasons I think that he has come and didn't come originally before is because same thing tied in with that long-term, with that short-term contract being on like almost, what is he, like 280 a week, I saw? That's a lot of money. You know, imagine giving someone a 4-year contract on that and it doesn't work out after a year and a half. That's a big payoff, and that's probably something Levy doesn't want to do. So yeah, we know Conte is going to do the job well. It really comes down to the players performing, stepping up, and I don't think a lot of them are up for that. So same with Harry Kane. You know, whether he does or he doesn't, he's got 2 months like everyone else does to prove his worth.
Yep. I don't think we should beat around the bush. The only reason Conte is here is because of Paratici and his relationship with Paratici at Juve, I think. Cam. So where is this? What would you do with 100 million that potentially he's going to spend? Is he going to sell players? Who's he going to buy? We talk Dusan Vlahovic. He's interested in him. What would you do, Cam, in January?
Can I just recite a little story?
You can say what you want, mate. I'm just asking questions. You can answer them whenever you want.
When 2016, me and my wife went to see Italy versus Belgium in the Euro 2016 in France. We didn't know where we were going to sit, but we found ourselves sitting behind the Italian coaching staff. Right next to Conte was running the team. And Belgium were the favourites to win everything, whatever you can say. I mean, they were the team to beat. And I told my wife, don't worry, Belgium are going to walk away with this, because Italy didn't have even one star in the team at that time, right? And we found ourselves 2 rows behind Conte. And after about 5 minutes of the game, I told my wife, stop watching the game. Don't watch the game. Just watch Conte. Don't watch anything else, and you will have the best time of your life. That guy kicked every ball. He headed every ball. He moved every ball. He never sat still. He moved everywhere around the pitch. Every single minute we watched him, all he was doing, he was playing every single play, screaming his lungs out. When Italy scored, they won the game 2-0. When Italy scored, he jumped up on the little piece of plastic that they have to protect them from the rain, slid off it, nearly fell down, hugged one of his staff, busted his lip. There was blood pouring out of him. And he carried on all the way through. The passion that you saw, compare that to what you saw against Nuno, stroking his beard, which was as big as Nico's. There was nothing. The man was dead. I mean, what we're going to bring to this club right now is that level of passion and commitment where he actually plays every single thing and goes absolutely crazy. There is nowhere to hide. Those players, I mean, what he did with the Chelsea striker that they actually finally got him for, what was his name, Diego Costa, when he actually froze him out from being what he was. He don't take fools. You want to be a fool? Good luck to you, but he will not take it on. I mean, the guy is, and he's passionate. He's crazy in ways. Sometimes he's too passionate, and that's why he hasn't lasted. But this team that we've got now, which lacks absolutely anything, it's like almost like they're bloodless vampires. This is exactly the opposite of what we've had in the last few years, and it's going to be electric to watch. Electric, even if we lose a few games.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Just watching Conte's passion,
exactly.
Caring is going to bring something back to everybody, and I don't think he's going to lose because he's just not a loser. He's just not. A loser.
Adam, what do you think? Do you think Conte is not going to be too scared to drop Harry Kane if he's not performing? He's going to drop him, but then we don't have a backup. But what do you think on that point?
No, I don't think he will. I don't think he will care. I think he'll get the best out of Kane. The flip side of this is Kane wanted to go because he wanted to win trophies. He's now got a world-class manager there. Now, he's going to be maybe thinking, and his attitude's going to change, thinking, well, do I actually need to leave now? Is Conte going to build what I've been looking for in the past managers, and we're going to start achieving, start winning stuff? The funny thing is, I was just thinking to myself and laughing that Daniel Levy has employed a winning psycho, and he's going to be locking his door because he won't be able to handle Conte. It's just going to be fantastic. Instead of having like a zombie Nuno, Conte, like Cam said, Conte is going to be coaching him on the touchline. He's going to be shouting at him, getting to run everywhere, pressing, closing. It's going to be such a different change that we haven't seen in such a long time now. And it's going to be fantastic. And if he can't get Dele Alli on form, he can sell Dele Alli to Love Island because that's what he's good for, being in the papers and dating women. And he may even get the best out of Harry Winks. I don't know, but he's a coach that actually coaches players and turns them into better players. And Nico said it earlier. You know, Victor Moses, when Conte comes to Chelsea, I actually thought, yeah, he's got no chance. He'll be the first out the door. He was the most improved player, I thought, for Chelsea. So if he can do that to Moses, he can do that to any player at Spurs.
Yep. I mean, go ahead, Eric.
Has anyone seen Ted Lasso, the show?
Yeah.
Okay, so Dele Alli kind of reminds me of Jamie Tart, and
yeah.
remember Jamie Tart in the second season when went on the Love Island show. But no, the reason why Jamie Tart wasn't good when he came back is because he kind of lost that, excuse me for my language,
Anger.
that asshole part of him. Yeah,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
even
yeah.
Pochettino called him a bad boy, and when he's a bad boy, he's a good player. So maybe that's what needs to happen to Dele Alli.
Yep. Nico, do you think Conte is not too scared if Kane that carries on this crap form that he's got? Do you think he won't be too scared to say, right, just get rid of him in January?
I remember Lukaku said in an interview that he was an amazing coach. In the dressing room, he treated every player equally. Didn't matter how big the player was. He could stand in the dressing room shouting to the star player, but he always treated them fairly. Always. But he was never afraid to be direct and honest and brutal to every single player. And that's exactly what we need. Exactly. At this time.
Cam, what's the future for people like Lo Celso, Bergwijn, your favorite? What's the future for these guys now?
Well, I think that
Because he may make Bergwijn into a world. If he can do that to Victor Moses, what can he do to
Steady
Bergwijn?
Ray.
we did it to Lukaku too, because remember Lukaku bounced from Chelsea, Everton, Man United. Didn't really cut it, did he? Until he got to Italy and he became the best player in the Italian league and got sold for 90 million. I mean, that was all Conte that bought it out of him. I think the thing here is, which is what we've been saying all along, he's the difference between Conte and everybody else is he would not take to be told who should be in his team. Harry Kane gets into the Tottenham team, whether he lies down on the ground for 50 minutes and doesn't kick a ball on the side, he'll still be he'll still be selected again. And that's not going to happen with Conte. And I think these players that have got away with being absolute mediocre. I'm sorry, Eric. Bergwijn in the Conference League in the Europa League. Get that shirt off for a start. If he's got Bergwijn on the back of it, and was so bad, but he got back in. He got back in. I mean, if that was my kid, I would have freed him for 3 days. But I mean, and this I can't see
Yes,
that Conte
Mourinho.
would tolerate. The difference between Conte and he doesn't tolerate fools, and these guys have been pulling the wool over the manager's eyes and the team's eyes and the fans' eyes. And that for us is the first thing we'll find is that there's nowhere, like they say, there will be nowhere to hide. Right now, they've been hiding behind each other. They've been hiding behind injuries. They've been hiding behind, well, actually, everybody is so bad. I can be so poor. There's 10 people who still be worse than me in the team. And it's just literally, so far it's just been a lineup of who's the worst player. There's nobody's been good, and now we've got nowhere. They've got nowhere to hide. And I think rather than talking about the Bergwijns of this world and everybody else, let's see what he brings out of Son. Son's already a world-class player. Let's see what he turns him into, because this guy can. I mean, you can see the frustration on his face. Maybe he can get better out of Mora, because there's a good player somewhere in there waiting to get out and to get what he needs to get. And let's start building on the positives in our team, because there are some good players we have, whether it's Romero, whether it's Emerson finally coming out, and if by pushing up Reguilon, maybe he'll learn to cross the ball at last. Right, Jam, I know you wanted to come in.
Yeah, those are exactly the two things I wanted to say. I'm excited to see the wingback play being a lot more aggressive with Reguilon and Romero, because those two are decent players. There's a lot to grow into, and I just think Conte can really get the best out of them. They're gonna be flying on the wings, and we don't have to rely on playing Son on the wing or playing Lucas on the wing when Son and Kane should be up top, being our strikers. That's what they do best. They score goals, they combine well, and they're going to get us lots of goals. I'm also excited to see what's going to happen in defense, because I think we all know there's only one player worth keeping in defense, and that's Romero. Maybe with Tanganga with him, but long term, Dyer isn't gonna cut it, is he? Sanchez isn't going to cut it for us. Rodon isn't going to cut it for us. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen there.
I think, Eric, thanks, Jam. That's really good. Eric, I think this is a really good, the timing of the appointment, like Cam said, is really good. It gives them 2 months to look at all the players and make a decision in January. What do you think?
Yeah, totally. Because, I think we already know ones he's going to like and the ones he's going to dislike. And,
well, tell us, who's he going to like and who's he going to dislike? Who do you think he's going to really take to, and who do you think he's going to say, right, I don't want this guy anymore?
He's going to like Obier. He's going to like Skip. He's going to like Romero. I think he's going to like Tanganga, Reguilon, Kane and Son, and you know, you talk about Harry Kane's poor form as of now, but the players are not stupid. They know Conte doesn't put up with nothing. So if I'm
Yeah.
Harry Kane, I don't want to get on this guy's bad side, and he knows that because I think, and it's kind of disrespectful to say to Nuno, but there's actually a respectable manager that's managing this club, and I feel like the players will understand that, and I hope the players fear Conte because that's what needs to happen because Conte needs to rip them a new one, and like I said, I feel like that's how we're going to get better. But players that's going to go is Winks. I don't know about Dyer. I think Dyer just might win him over. I don't know about
think
Dyer.
Dyer
But I
was
know
great.
Winks is gone.
I think Dyer
Dele
might
Alli
make it. Yeah.
would have to change his attitude, but I think Dele is gone. Ndombele, that's the 50-50, considering that he wanted him at Inter. So Emerson Royale is going to be perfect on the right wing back because he was so successful in that position at Real Betis. And it can either be him or Steven Bergwijn because I remember when Mourinho was here, Steven Bergwijn had a good defensive
Let it go,
work
man.
rate at second back.
Bergwijn, go, man.
No, I'm with you on that one. I like Bergwijn, man.
I think Bergwijn. I'm willing to give him another
Bergwijn had a
chance.
good
for
Bergwijn
sure.
had a good
I
defensive
don't.
work rate.
Cam, you're
even
being too
though
rough.
he never
Everybody,
committed.
when any
never
new
good at
manager
sacrifice.
starts, every player starts with a clean slate. Cams, even you have to accept that. So,
Every player except Harry Winks.
I can't.
And
And
Ben Davis.
Bergwijn.
Nico, let
And
me.
Ndombele.
Nico, let me put a scenario to you. Harry Kane's dreadful form continues. Conti goes to Levy and says, "Get rid of this guy. His heart's not in it." What does Levy do? Do you say, "Yes, I'm going to get rid of him"? Or you say, "No, he's on a 3-year contract. He's staying. He's my biggest asset."
I just think it will never be a problem because he has this authority. So I think Kane will immediately respect him. So I don't think it will be a scenario. I think the whole squad just knows that they have to be their best version from day one.
But the thing is,
Simple as
if
that.
they want to stay, they have to be the best. But Kane doesn't want to stay; he wants to go. So
Yeah, but then he will seek out an answer, like a clear answer in the office. He will have a 1-to-1 with Kane, very quick, and be very direct and probably like a mob style. Are you hurt in this, Harry, or are you trying to get the move away from the club? It's going to be very direct.
if you want to move away, Harry, I'm going to put a hit on you, and you'll be gone, mate. But
Oh, Ray, I'd like a prediction here. I predict that Kane will score 10 goals in the next 5 games.
okay, we've recorded that. So Cam says Kane's going to score 10 in the next 5 games. Adam, we've got a pretty good run of fixtures coming up. Actually, nothing really hard in there. None of the top teams. Do you think he could get a few wins under his belt? They also looked at the fixture schedule and say this is a good time to get rid of Nuno because the hardest game's over now, Man United, and we got some fixtures. Do you think that or not?
Yeah, they're all winnable fixtures, and the next few games are easy for us, and I think it's a great place for Conte to start, do a couple of experiments. He's going to switch the team around to see who plays well in what position and what role and stuff like that. So I think it's perfect for him. Going back to that Kane situation, let me add this. I think we could have had a situation where we've said it, me, you, Cam said it last few weeks, where that's cut loose on Kane. He's checked out. Let's get the money, let's reinvest it. Now we've got the situation where if we kept Nuno, say till January, and we decide to let Kane go, Man City could have just put in such a low offer, and we've just accepted it because we needed the money. Now we've got that. We're in the perfect situation. We can either get the best out of him, or we can sell him and add to this supposed 150 million war chest that he's going to be given, and sell him for 100 plus. So for once,
you still think we can
just
get 100 for him?
so many positive. Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I just think there's so many positives now. So many positives.
Well, the stadium will be sold out.
I can't handle all this optimism, Adam.
Yeah,
but I think I'm going to struggle. I can't handle all this optimism.
We may even sell the stadium rights and have some extra money.
Try get tickets now between now and Christmas for a Tottenham game. I bet they're going to be selling like hotcakes.
Yeah,
they will.
Cam,
be,
it's also interesting because Antonio Conte is like a top tier manager. It's going to be easier to attract players, isn't it?
I think everyone will want to be with the winner. I mean, let's face it. I mean, Mourinho was a winner, but Mourinho was a dinosaur winner because he was a winner way, way back in a different type of play. When the Pochettinos and the Klopps and the Contes came in and they started changing the dynamics of football, and people started playing a different type of football, a more faster and more of a different approach, a more pressing game. The dinosaurs like Mourinho and to some extent Wenger and even you could say Ferguson sort of fell by the wayside in the way that they were playing. We've now got a manager who, I know that Pochettino developed it, but Pochettino don't want anything, who's actually a winner and is a manager that brings this level of passion that I don't think we've ever seen it before. We would never have seen the kind of passion that Conte brings with him. And obviously there's a downside. The downside is he's going to piss off a lot of players. But actually those players have spent years pissing all of us off. So we're actually pretty happy about that as Tottenham fans. We want somebody to upset some of those players. And I think that, you know, the stadium's going to be rocking again. Whoever was at the Man United game, it was like actually being at someone's funeral. And it wasn't an Irish funeral. I mean, this is a funeral where people were crying. I mean, Jam made one point. I just want to make one point before I move on, Ray, and that is that the El Sakico that we lost. Can you imagine if Ole had we won?
We actually won that, actually, yeah.
Well, exactly. So I want to have a shout out to Man United fans. Thanks so much for coming down there, supporting.
Thank you, Man United. Thank you, Ole.
And letting us get Conte and you being stuck with Ole. Thank you.
Thank you. Eric, you wanted to come in there?
Yeah, I want. Well, I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna go back to. So, yeah, when Rashford made it 3-0. I honestly celebrated that goal because I knew that was it. I knew that was it. It had to be it, and I was so happy. I was like, yeah, okay, that got to be it. But what you were saying, Cam?
I think the key for me was, and Nico, is this your understanding as well? Is when he took Lucas Moura off, which has got to be one of the worst substitutions in history. The fans started booing, saying you don't know what you're doing. Nuno out, Levy out. That was really the trigger point for all of this, wasn't it, Nico?
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't watch that game. I was busy, but I just watched some interviews after. But it seemed like the final straw. Yeah.
I mean, having Daniel Levy sitting up there in this chairman booth, hearing 60,000 people that you know that he built this stadium, hearing 60,000 people in the stadium he built, saying boo. I've never booed my team before, but I did it that Saturday. And hearing you don't know what you're doing, that was the final straw. He knew he had to pull the plug. Now going with Conte, there's no There's no excuse for Conte. There's no excuse for the players with Conte. I mean, where Mourinho was here, you can say, oh, okay, when Mourinho came, he hasn't won a trophy in 3 years, so he's past his prime. Okay. Pochettino, okay. You know, Pochettino was with us for 6 years. Maybe the players would go with the style. But Conte just won a league trophy just 6 months ago. So there's no excuse for the players. And if it's going to be anybody's fault, it's going to be the players. I mean, we already know it's the players' fault or the board, but we know it's the players' fault because there's no excuse because Conte, like I said, is a serial winner. And he just won not a year long ago. So
Yep. Let me. Good evening, Grandpa Stephen. Thanks for that. Yeah, Ollie at the wheel, driving sensibly. Great one. Yeah, thanks for that. Adam, let me ask you a question. The players, they got Pochettino the sack, they got Mourinho the sack, they got Nuno the sack. Explain to everybody why they can't get Antonio Conte the sack.
He'll get them first.
Yeah. He'll kill him first.
Evening, Terry.
Never kill him.
That they've got Paratici there, who's pretty much Conte's best mate. Yeah. So he'll literally go to him first before they go to Levy. So they literally got nothing to stand on. And you could already see that he's already working his magic. I saw pictures today. He can't take training, obviously, because of his visa, but he was still there watching them train on the sideline, eyeing up who he wants to keep, who's a good trainer, who's working hard and stuff like that. So, yeah, they should be scared, and it's about time. It is about time.
Okay, Jam, your thoughts? They can't actually get this guy sacked because he's going to get rid of them. It's like, you can't kid a kidder, can you? So once this guy's in there, he's going to be one step ahead of them, isn't he?
Yeah, and it's like, it's not like at first when you know, they all got poached a sec, and then Mourinho came in and things were going well for some time, and then it turned sour after, you know, Mourinho asked maybe too much of them, which they couldn't do just because of the quality of players that we had. And then, you know, Mourinho gets sacked. We get Nuno in, who doesn't know what he's doing, and it's like there's literally nowhere to hide behind, because we know we have a manager who does know what he's doing now, not just this season, but has known what he's doing for the last 5-6 seasons, proven it time and time again with different clubs and different players of varying degrees of ability, that he can succeed with them. And so it gets to a point where it's like we've known this already before he even got here, that these players, half of them are not going to show up, are going to be better. And even so with Conte, I feel like a lot of them are dead men walking, without a doubt. You say we come in with a clean slate, but there's just so many of them that, I think, in my opinion, they don't deserve a clean slate. I'm sorry. Just
Cam, take that one, because what Grandpa Stephen is saying is they got to ship up, or they're going to be shipped out.
Absolutely right. Because I mean, I think what we're missing is the thing that sums up Conte to me is one thing and one thing alone. Last month in Chelsea, all the players hated him. The board wanted him out. Everybody was working against this guy. And what did he do? He won them the FA Cup. On his last game, he went in there. He outclassed Mourinho's Man United, who were on the rise then. And he outplayed him. He outmaneuvered him on that pitch. He had nothing to play for. He hated the team. They hated him. But that's what a serial winner does. I mean, can you ever see that happening anywhere? And so much so, they didn't even celebrate. They didn't take him anywhere around on the bus, I don't think, when they won the FA Cup. And he had to take them to court to get his money. That's how much he fell out with them. But he still won them a cup in that stage. Now, that is one classy manager who can do that. And I think that this is right. If he sees that and this is what happened with Chelsea, they wouldn't do what he wanted them to do. And he shipped out. And he went on and he won something else somewhere else. And I think that this is what will happen. We know we've got a lot of deadwood. There is some deadwood. But, you know, I think that one of the things you're all saying, and I agree with you, that some of that people that we see now as deadwood under Mourinho and under Nuno, two very, very dinosaur type managers that are not Tottenham at all in their DNA anywhere at all. Maybe some of that deadwood would come back to life. Maybe he will get the best out of them. There are some players, Bergwijn, that I don't think that he's going to be able to do anything with. But I think that some of those players, and I think Dyer, and I even think Sanchez, are players that he could probably work with, guys. I think they are people that he could probably bring up, and I think you'll see a completely different dynamic in the way that we play. People keep going on about the managers don't make a difference, blame the players. But that's not true, because look what Nuno did to these players. These are most of the players that were in the Champions League final. So I don't believe in that. I believe he can make a big difference immediately.
Okay. Nico, do you think the rest, I mean, obviously listening to Chelsea and Arsenal United fans, they're really upset. I mean, I just saw a video of one Chelsea fan who's nearly crying, saying Tottenham have got the best manager in the world. Should the other teams be wary of Conti now, Nico?
Yeah, of course. But I'm thinking a bit, what's the difference between Mourinho and Conte in terms of man management? If you think about it, it's an open question for you guys. What do you think is the difference?
Do you want to take that, Adam, and then we'll go around the panel? What's the difference between Mourinho and Conte?
It's a good question. I think Conte doesn't openly come out and criticise his players. If he doesn't want a player, he'll phase him out the squad. He'll tell him. Mourinho doesn't do that. He'll talk to one player one time, phase him out, then talk to him again and stuff like that. I think Mourinho's sort of more toxic. He tries to get a reaction out of something negative. I think Conte's just honest. If he doesn't like you, doesn't like how you work, how you play, if you're not in his plans, he'll tell you there and then. And he'll say, you can either prove me wrong or, you know, you can go. So the interesting thing is this seems to be a running theme that we've had 3 ex-Chelsea managers. Is there going to be a 4th after this? Is it going to be Thomas Tuchel that we get 18 months down the line?
I hope not.
Oh, he's a good manager.
But
I wouldn't mind that.
Another big difference, Adam, is that, you know, Conte's got Paratici as that layer between him and Levy, which Mourinho didn't have. And these guys are really close. So hopefully that should help him as well.
want to
Levy
answer.
can't sack,
I want to answer
sack
that
two
question.
people at once.
Yeah, he can't sack two people now.
I
Go
want
on,
to
Cam.
It's too much money.
answer that question, right? The difference between the difference between Mourinho and Conte and them, but the way that they manage the game and the players is one thing. Conte's not only won it all as a manager, he's won it as a player. I remember seeing him as a player. He was absolutely fantastic.
Excellent.
The thing about Mourinho that didn't fit in with Tottenham is he was a paper manager. He would lay it all out on paper. He'd lay it all out on theory. He'll put it all on stats. He'll do a money ball thing, and he'll tell these guys to play in a way that they probably weren't best suited to play because he had no understanding of the actual game on the field. Whereas Conte's played it, he's been there, he knows what it is, he's got the passion, and he can bring the best out of those players rather than just staring at a sheet of paper or an iPad and putting points on it and saying, you do this and you go there. And this is why he became a dinosaur, because it worked at first because nobody else was doing it. But when everyone else suddenly realized that was his style, it very soon went out of fashion, because you've got to also see what the players' skill sets are. And you do that by being a great player yourself. And that's the biggest difference for me between Conte and Mourinho. Mourinho, theoretician, great. He'd be great in the lecture hall. Right, I'm sure it'd be fantastic. But Conte's done it on the field himself too. And Mourinho hadn't.
What about this? Take this one, Jam. You take this. Any hope for Romero-Skriniar partnership? What do you think?
Well, I would love to see it, and that's really what I was talking about. Nothing against Dyer or Sanchez, because they both have some quality and maybe be good. They're Premiership players. I'm not taking anything away from them. They're not absolute crap. But Skriniar is another class level. So is Romero. We need players of that top tier quality, and the most important players on the pitch are always your centre backs. And I'm sorry, I don't think Dyer is an elite centre back. He's just not. I'm sorry, even at his best, Skriniar can be. Skriniar is. Him and Romero alongside them together would be a dream. It would be a dream. Like, I could genuinely see us winning the Premiership next year if we had that centre back there. And whether that happens or not, who knows?
Yeah. What about Grandpa Stevens' comment? Take that one, Eric. Go on. We've got to talk to our viewers as well.
Okay,
Chelsea absolutely despise us. Go ahead. Go
on. It won't be the Inter Milan center back you're thinking of. I just read a report. Football Insider says Conte has told Tottenham that he wants to sign De Vrij instead of Skriniar. So that would
I'll be happy with
back.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're
going to get a lot of players from Italy now.
I think so too, because now you got the two Italian combo running the show over here. And to answer Grandpa Stevens, the second person I texted this morning was my friend who is a Chelsea fan. I was like, man, we got Conte to Tottenham. I'm like, man, I love getting your leftovers. That was being sarcastic. But no, I mean, I believe in the history, like Chiellini. I mean, we got Andre Villas-Boas. He didn't win us anything. Got Mourinho. He didn't win us anything. Conte, that's a question mark. But going according to history, he didn't win us anything. But I don't want to believe that right now.
Okay, excellent, Eric. Nico, Terry saying if Paratici goes back for Conde in January, includes Sanchez in the deal. Would you take that deal, Nico?
I would prefer Skriniar, actually. I think he will be very good with Romero. So, but I think he has gotten some promises from the board in the January window, like some targets, and I think that was he needed to have this promise in writing to sign the contract. I think so.
Yeah, I think he's got something. Well, Adam, who do you think he's going to be going for in January then?
I hope
who
he
would
goes
you
for
go
that.
for?
Well, I'd go for that Fiorentina striker who's just turned down
Dusan Vlahovic.
a new contract. Yeah, without a doubt. I kind of hope that we start looking at areas for the future as well. We definitely need a better goalkeeper. Lloris is fantastic, but he's getting on. He's not Brad Friedel. He can turn it on just like that. So I think we need to improve that. Definitely need to improve the defense.
Centre mid.
And let's see what happens with the Lo Celso and Dele Alli situation and Ndombele. 2 of those might go, 3 of those might go. I just think it's going to be open floodgates on players coming in and coming out. And now that he knows the Italian league, don't rule out Christian Eriksen as well, that he can't play in the Italian league. I know Ajax are sniffing around. That's going to split Spurs fans. You know, who wants Eriksen back? Is he going to be the same player? Will he, start playing better under Conte? Because he went the first year, he was looking to go and he got challenged by Conte and he come back a better player.
Yeah.
He got his first team regular.
So
be interesting to see.
Cam, put us into Conti pretty well. I know you studied him. What's he like? So he picks a player, the player doesn't perform. Does he give him a chance? They say, right, you're not good enough. How long does he take to assess players to see whether they're right for him or not?
I think what I've heard about the way that he operates is as he said, he demands respect. He doesn't take any bullshit. So basically, he gives respect, but he insists and demands respect and parity from the player. He wants to get back whatever he puts in. And I think that what's been happening a lot at Spurs and a lot of other clubs is this whole put your arm around you and mollycoddle you and, you poor little thing, on £500,000 a week, it must be so hard for you and all that sort of stuff. You won't get that from Conte. What we're putting in, he wants it back. And he demands the training. He demands that hard work. He demands that they get out there and they actually put a lot of effort in, and he will do that with all the players. And where they don't do that, they will suffer, and he'll make them suffer. He'll drop them, and he won't have them included in his plans. And I think that brings them out. But also, I think we've got to understand: is he technically, because of the skills as a player that he was, he has got a lot more technical knowledge and ability to see how players, what their strengths are and what their weaknesses are. Because he's played at the highest possible level and won everything at the highest possible level, and that's that. There's a very few players who play at that really high level that are also good managers.
Who did he have in Chelsea as the 3 centre backs? Conte.
Gary Cahill, didn't they? Gary Cahill, John Terry, and who I don't know the third one. David Luiz.
Yeah. Under Conte.
Under Conte.
I'm not sure. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, because Sanchez also is very interesting now. Will this be the time for him where he finally gets...
what do you think, Nico? Is Sanchez going to stay or go?
Yeah, I'm very interested in knowing if Conte actually and his team, is this the final chance for him? And can he learn from a manager which has the playing experience, which Cam spoke about? Can this be the chance for him to actually get to a better level? Like understanding of the game, and in a 3, I'm very interested in that. I think.
Jam, what do you take the next one from Terry? It sounds like Frank Kessie maybe on Paratici. Would you want Kessie?
Yes.
Honestly, I'm not sure.
You're going to Google him now, aren't you? Because you don't
know. I'm going to Google. I'm not sure who Kessie is.
Why don't you take that, Frank?
He's the midfielder.
Yeah.
Eric, you take that one. Go on.
Yeah, I saw a report today.
I'm just joking, Cam. Don't worry. Yeah.
Kessie is on Paratici's radar, and whether it's going to be a free deal or let's get him in January immediately, that's a question to be discovered. I mean, right now they're working on fees, according to a couple of sources, around $10 million a year for Kessie. But like I said, I don't know if it's going to be on a free or just let's get him already in January.
Yeah.
How much do we know about Kessie, though? I mean, honestly, I had to Google him. I don't know who he is. He plays for AC Milan
he's not that well known. But
I mean, honestly, there's been names listed. The most exciting person I'm excited about is potentially Chase from Inter. We need a real striker and a top quality striker.
Which one?
Is not easily available.
Chiesa. Oh, okay.
Chiesa.
Chiesa.
I'm not a good at pronunciation.
I also want to say this.
Go on, Eric.
Yeah, keep going.
Go ahead. I was just saying, I think that quality of player is what we should be looking at, not at Daniel Levy type players.
I'm surprised at how Spurs have gone from all of us sitting here thinking we were the paupers of the Premier League to now suddenly we can come in, buy.
Where's all this money come from, Cam? Have you been giving loans to Daniel Levy again, Cam?
I think what it is that Joe Lewis must have been sitting in the Bahamas with his 5,000-inch TV or whatever he's got, watching the game and thinking, how much have I invested in this team? How much have I invested in this team? Because let's face it, that money's suddenly dropped from somewhere, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And you either what saddens me is that time when we could have got maybe Bale and we could have got Grealish in 2016-17.
That's past now, man. Let's look future. We don't
We
want to
would
go
have
to
won
the
it.
past.
Let's
We're
hope
all
they
happy
learned
now.
that
Don't ruin it.
We could have got Greenish for an extra 2 million.
Yeah, we could have
we were
done.
being too
Let's
tight.
hope we've learned that lesson, Ray. That's all I'm
Let's hope,
saying.
yeah, no, I agree with you. Let's start that lesson. Eric, I wanted to ask you. Ericsson's got a deep fitted, and just worth pointing that Daley Blind used to play with Man United with a deep fitted, so he could come back.
Yeah,
Would
actually,
you want
he
Ericsson
actually
back?
played. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's obviously a risk because Daley Blind played in the Euros as well with that monitor in his heart. And remember, he had to come off like around 60 minutes into the game. So yeah, but no, Ericsson is just a familiar face around. Just overall, I don't care about. I mean, yeah, his safety is the number one priority, but I really don't care about that and worrying about him. I mean, like, just him being in the team, being a creative midfielder is good. I trust Ericsson. I trust he's going to do whatever is best for him, the doctors, whatever is best for him and his body. And so, I mean, whether we're paying $20 million for him to get him back, no, not at all. But just something we can get him on like a small, cheap, $10 million, 15, perfect. But no, yeah, I feel like I'm not worried about him.
Yeah, I don't think I agree with Terry. I don't think
body.
Ericsson should risk it now. He's absolutely right, Terry.
There's a lot of other players out there.
Totally agree with you, mate.
Yeah,
It's not
I'm
worth
getting
the risk.
tired
You
of-
should just retire now.
There's too many players on our team whose faces I'm getting tired of seeing. You know, a lot of them have gotten offloaded this season. The Lamellas.
Yeah,
and
who do you want to get
Sissokos.
rid of? Give us your priority list of your bads.
Honestly, I mean, it's God.
Who do you want to
Harry
play?
Winks is always the
But
top
of my
everybody's
list is Harry Winks. All right.
And who's that? Who's after that?
Why?
David Dyer,
When was the last
Ben
time Harry
Davies.
Winks has played a decent ball of football? A decent pass? You know, when was the last time he didn't pass it backwards to a center back? Okay. Moving on from Winks. You know, there's a reason Doherty hasn't played all season. You know, Wolves' best friend. Yeah,
We
he's just
can't
not
get
gonna.
rid of
He's just not gonna
Doherty.
continue playing. Lo Celso. I'm sorry. We've talked a lot about Lo Celso being good for Argentina, but my God, I am tired of seeing his awful passing. Awful.
Yeah.
Just like it gets into great positions. He works hard. He tackles the ball well, but then he gets into a position, pass it to Son or to Kane, and it just goes.
And he loves
I don't know
dribbling
what the hell he's
into
doing,
opponents
man.
as
It's
well.
just so bad.
And you
I'm
saw
sorry.
the Copa America. Did he do that for Argentina as well or not?
No,
No, he didn't, did he?
no.
He doesn't. But I don't know, man. Maybe the caliber of players he's playing against, maybe the pitch is too slippery for him. Maybe he just doesn't like London. But you know, he's just I'm tired of seeing Lo Celso play. You know, and Ndombele is one of those players who still brings an entertainment value, and I totally understand the hatred he gets because he's not incredible. He's not incredible, but I think he can be incredible
60
and he's
million.
entertaining. And I think there's something there. But if he goes, he goes. Good.
Okay,
Another player.
Cam?
If Kane goes, he goes. If Lucas Moura goes, he goes. If
I got full trust in Antonio
You know?
Conte. Cam may think the sun shines out of certain players' backsides, but if Conte doesn't rate them, then I'm happy to go with Conte on that.
The
one.
only player that I was raved about consistently.
Stephen
was
Bergwijn all the time, man.
Gareth Bale.
there's
I
only
was
3 or
biggest
4
Bale
players
fan.
that are definitely gonna stay.
Yeah. Now I want to say though, Ray, which is very important. First thing that's got to go is the consistent back passing and the slowing down of the game that Tottenham have done under Mourinho and specifically under Nuno. We're losing 3-0
That'll be gone.
and we
That'll be
play
gone.
like we were winning 5-0. That is the first thing that's got to go. How depressing is it to keep seeing that, like Jam says, they've got the ball. I've seen us from positions where we should be whipping in a free kick into the into the penalty box, the ball ending up with the keeper.
No, I was just about to say, in the United game, we had a corner, and about 5 seconds later, it's back with Lloris.
Back with Lloris.
Adam,
So
what do you think of
they've
Terry
gotta go.
Wright?
Let me give you my list who's got to go. Number
Go
1,
on.
Ndombele. Number 2, Bergwijn. Number 3, Doherty has got to go. That's
Keep
got to
going.
go. Number 4, Dele Alli. Number 5, if he doesn't back up Lo Celso. And the reason why I want that midfield cleared out, that alleged creative players in the midfield, is to make room for someone who actually knows how to be creative. And as far as I can see, none of them do. So that's where I want that area completely cleared out.
Cam,
Okay,
you forgot
Adam,
about Davis.
Adam,
as well.
overloaded
Let
with
me come to Adam now.
mediocrity.
Hold on. Adam, Terry Wright saying Dele and Winks both useless, championship level players. Do you think we should give I agree with you on Winks. I totally agree. He's championship level. But with Dele Alli, I think we've seen something there. Do you think we should give him another chance or not, Adam?
I think it's his last chance. I think it's the only coach
Last
that's going
chance
to
saloon,
unlock
yeah?
him.
How many chances?
Only one who's going to unlock him is Conte. Dele Alli plays best when he's angry.
Mm.
And that was his first season under Pochettino. Then all the pundits and the press criticised him that he would lose his head. He turned to Mr. Soft and he just completely lost it. And the funny thing is that he didn't get into the Euros. He done a massive press PR thing on his Instagram that he's come back early and he's working on his game. The only thing he's done is bulked himself up and dated more women. He should be on Love Island. Should be on Love Island
actually. I agree with you.
That's where his mind is.
Yeah.
Great footballer. He's still a great footballer.
Well, he was a great footballer. Is he still a great footballer? I don't know.
No.
I think he is, but I think he needs to. He needs
What have
to
you
be
seen this season to say he's a great footballer, Adam?
Well,
I just know he's got it in him.
season before.
He's another David Bentley. David Bentley was a fantastic footballer who fell out of love with the game.
Yeah.
And even when he did fall out of the game, he still scored that amazing goal against Arsenal. And I think that's what Dele Alli is. He's got to that peak. He hasn't increased and gone further like Ronaldo and other great players where they've hit that peak and then they've pushed further. He's just gone downwards. And he's had little flutters, and you think, great, he's scoring again. He's coming back, and he's not. So
It's great.
Yeah. Nico, do you think we should give Dele Alli another chance, or is he busted flush now? He's got to go.
Yeah, I think every player will get another chance to show their worth, and I think Davis and Doherty will be our best wing backs throughout the season from now.
Are you
Really?
serious? You're saying that with a straight face, Nico. Come on now.
Yeah.
Eric, come on, input into this conversation, come on, what's happening now? Do you think Dele Alli should get another chance, or is it, it's too much? Everybody's giving him a chance. He needs to move on now.
2 months.
Eric?
2 months.
Sorry?
2 months.
Give
2
him 2
months.
months till the January transfer
2
window,
months.
yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I say 2 weeks. I say 2 days.
I think
Even
look,
two games,
if Bergwijn gets
but
another
here's the thing.
chance, then Ellie gets another chance.
Right.
I wanted
Here's the
to-
thing, guys.
I don't
Hold
thing
on, one
is-
at a time, guys. Go on, Cam.
the most important thing here is that Conte going to look at Dele Alli's a great player, Ndombele's this, and Bergwijn's that. All he wants to do is going to look at those list of fixtures, and he says, "I'm going to win every single one of those games." If that means that Dele Alli, Harry Kane never play in those 7 games from what he's seen in training, they don't play. And I think that's what we want to see, because at the end of the day, we will know that the guy will pick a team and structure it in such a way that will maybe stand a chance of winning most of those games. And I think those next 6 games are all winnable. Every single one of them. We don't play anybody big apart from Everton away next week. We got Burnley's. We got I can't remember the 2 teams in the Europa League, and we've got Everton. I think we've got one other pretty easy team to play. So he's got to be able to win those games. And if we can start winning gets winning. My view is, someone asked a question earlier, I think it was Amanda, who said, how are the other teams around us going to feel now? How would you feel now if you were an Arsenal fan? How would you feel now if you were those teams in London, West Ham fans? All right, Chelsea are at the top. I'm not saying we're going to get there yet. But if you're West Ham and you're Arsenal, who taking us for granted, already taken us for granted, and giving us a whooping in the process, right? Now, they should start looking scared, because we are going to come back to becoming not the first team in London, but at least the second team in London at the end of this season. And I think that's what I think is going to bring. And in that process, we're going to lose a lot of players, but hopefully we're going to gain a team back again. Because now we haven't even got that.
Yeah. Terry saying, going to a back three should be effective with our current personnel. Tanganga, Romero, and Dyer. Hopefully, Skriniar or Koundé takes Dyer's place. Yeah, I agree with you, Terry. Great point. Hopefully, we can do that. Go ahead, Jam, and then I'm going to ask Nico.
there was a question-
Eric about these signings. Go ahead, Jam.
A question you asked about a little bit ago about how Conte is going to know how quickly, how effective these players are going to be for him. And I think it's going to even happen before match day. With Nuno, we saw him take 3-4 matches to realize that these players are crap. And that's just ridiculous. You have all week of training to know that these players are just not going to cut it. Like, who are you playing them against? Like stick people? Because, Conte will know. So it's just going to get to a point where either the player is going to play or they're not going to play. They're not going to be on the bench, and we're going to see that quickly.
Okay.
It won't take too long for him to suss them out.
Adam, the 2 of the players we've looked at, he's apparently interested in Dusan Vlahovic and Frank Kessie. Those are the couple that he wants. So where all these midfielders are going to play then? Well, we've got Skip, Højbjerg, Kessie. Ndombele, Lo Celso. He's gonna. I think he's gonna ship some players out. Otherwise, it's not gonna work really, is it?
Bergwijn,
He
more.
will do. Yeah. He will ship quite a few. And like we said, it might be a fire sale. I really think he's going to turn Skip into some machine.
Really?
Skip's so enthusiastic. He's got a really good engine, a lot of distance. He's not afraid to get stuck in. And I think Conte's going to absolutely love that. Compared to Winks, who just, talks a good game, comes out in the interviews and says, we do this and we need to do that, and doesn't do it. Skip's a different kettle of fish. And he wants to get stuck in, and I think it'd be fantastic for it. But yeah, I'd love to have some new players come in and definitely ship up that midfield.
Yeah.
Yep. Eric, do you think Conte is already? Obviously, he's a clever guy. He must have done his homework already on these guys, the current players. Looked at the clips of them, so he's probably going to have a good idea already of who he's going to want to keep and who he's going to want to get rid of. Do you think so?
Yeah, he should, and I don't see the whole Dusan Vlahovic and Kane partnership. If we would have appointed any other manager that wasn't Conte, I would have said, yeah, let's still sell Kane. But to me, I only saw Vlahovic as a Kane replacement, not to play alongside with Kane. And I feel like he can replicate what he had at Inter Milan last year with the two striker duo of Lukaku and Martinez, and Kane could be his new Lukaku, and Son can be his new Martinez. So I think that should be our strike partnership. So I don't see the whole Vlahovic thing with Kane. I can't picture that partnership. But we do have an outstanding partnership, as we saw last year. Aren't they like a goal away from breaking the record in the Premier League for goal combinations? And so he already has a partnership there. So why do you need to add? So no, I don't see Vlahovic, but I definitely see Kessié. And we could have a midfield three of Kessié, Holbier, and Skip. But, we talked about we're lacking a creative midfielder, but I feel like Kessié, with his high work ethic, and same with Holbier and Skip, they can make something happen. And I think if we're going to go with that way, I feel like our wingback's going to be our most playmaker, efficient players. Hopefully we can get the best out of Reguilon. Hopefully he learns how to cross the ball. Same thing with Doherty if you want to go with him. But I still say Emerson Royale because that's his best position as a right wing back.
Yep. Cam, give us a bit of an insight into how Conti plays the game in terms of his is he afraid to make substitution? Does he, tactically, does he change formation during a game? Tell our viewers a bit about how the Conti way.
I think the Conte way is that from the sidelines, what you'll see, like I said earlier, is he plays every ball. He plays every pass. He screams at every corner. He screams at every free kick, and he controls every little bit.
Nobody's going to be watching the match. They're all going to be watching him. Sorry.
They'll be watching him because the way that he does that, and his players know what they want from him. And I think that there is no fear in Conte. That's the main thing about that. I noticed the first thing I saw, he approaches every game with no fear and with the basis that he can win it, and he's not afraid to change formation depending on who he's going to be playing and who he's where he's going. And I think that's going to make a big difference to what we're used to, because what we saw with Nuno, we're not making any changes, too scared. What we've had in the past is managers who are too scared to make a change because they think that, fans will get on their back, someone else will get on their back, or offending another player. You'll see none of that with Conte. I know, Jam, you're going to be leaving. You want to say goodbye?
Yeah, just real quick. Thanks, guys.
No worries, man. Thanks for coming on.
Come on, you Spurs.
Future's
bright now. Good stuff.
Thanks, mate. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care, everyone.
And I just want to add to that about Conte is that I'm so happy that he has signed that I will actually consider now buying our third kit, which looks like someone's puked all over it, in honor of him coming in. And I think it does. It's going to make a difference to us because what the Spurs. What we're going to see is what we've never seen for. I don't think we've seen it for a long time. And I don't even think Pochettino showed that much passion. One of the big criticisms that we had of Poch, and I know we're not allowed to criticize Poch, was that he did have an issue of changing games within the game. And that sometimes he made decisions a bit too late. Sometimes he didn't switch or was scared of bringing his substitutions on when he should have, and he could have reacted within the game. And I think that with Conte, you will see that reaction coming quickly. Mourinho, to be fair, did like to change the game very quickly if he saw things weren't working out. But I think Conte will definitely do that from what I've seen.
Okay, Nico, any other thoughts on, and I can't see any downsides to this appointment. What do you think the fans are going to do? Obviously, they're going to give full support to Conte. He's got like the whole season. I don't think you'd hear any unrest from the fans. Even if we lose a few matches, it's going to be fine, isn't it?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about the central midfield. I think we need some player to orchestrate the team. So I don't think Højbjerg or Skip is that kind of player. And I remember he had Brozovic in Inter. Yep. This is an interesting player, the Croatian guy. He's very intelligent, good positioning, very good with marshalling the midfield, and I think we need some very good player to control the center midfield. I think that will also unleash a lot of the structure in the team, the attacking play, and Nico, I think we need a very good player in the central midfield.
Do you think he might, Eric? Let me come to you. Do you think he might change the captain? And because I don't think he's ever had a goalkeeper as a captain. Do you think he might change the captain as well or not?
Nah, not middle of the season. Not middle of the season. You don't want to do that middle of the season. That's something that's set pre-season. But Nico, I think Højbjerg can be his Brozovic because Brozovic was his guy. When you have the back three, Brozovic would just come and just roam around that defensive third and just pick up. And he was the connector. And I feel like Højbjerg can be that connector. And I feel like under Mourinho he was a little too defensive. And I granted with Nuno. Against the Man City game, we saw we saw Højbjerg in positions we've never seen him before in the Tottenham shirt, and that was a little high in advance. But Højbjerg can be that connector, to pick up passes from the back three and play him out to the midfield and advance the play up the field.
Adam, it's going to be a novelty to see us actually attacking and trying to score a goal, isn't it? Are you going to be able to get used to that or not?
I might need a drink.
Yeah, I think
it's going to be shocking. I'll go back to the last comment about Højbjerg and stuff like that. Do you know what? I get so frustrated with the guy. He come in, supposed to be a tough tackling guy. Just seems too nice for me. Every time I see him tackle someone and they complain, he seems to go and shake their hand and pat them on the back and you're all right. It winds me up. I just think, come on. Do it after the game. Just go in hard, leave a mark. The last few games, he's just really frustrated me, Højbjerg. Really has. One player we haven't mentioned, actually, that I wanted to bring up is Sessegnon.
Yeah,
I'd like to see how he
just say goodbye
back.
to Nico before he goes. Can we?
Thank you, guys. Going? See you.
Sorry, mate. I didn't realize. I'm not checking my WhatsApp, Nico. Thanks, mate. Take care. Thanks for joining, buddy. Take care.
I'd love to see what Conte does with Sessegnon because I just think this guy needs a chance when he's not injured, can play in a couple of different positions. And I just think he's got real pace, can real mould him because he's young, and he's just got so many qualities that I quite like. So I like to see Sessegnon come on and start doing something as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Any further thoughts, Cam, from your side? Then we'll come to Eric. Any other thoughts?
Well, I think Adam's right. I mean, the promise that this is the thing. One of the things that we need to see change desperately, and you've said this so many times, Ray, is good players come to Spurs and become bad players. Great players come to Spurs and become mediocre players. Maybe it's about time when the mediocre players come to Spurs and become great players. Now we need somebody who's going to reverse that. And Sessegnon's a prime example. I mean, he was one of the players that everyone thought was going to be a breakout English star. He's going to come in there, fantastic in everything he saw. Everyone wanted to sign him. We got him. It was great. Have we ever seen him play in this? That was his third season, I think, here. Always injured, can't hold down a place, and that dynamic has got to change. Lo Celso came in with all the promise of being a great player and an international, and he was going to be fantastic, and he's turned into a pile of crap since he's come in. So we need to change that dynamic. And my view is that's what we get, someone like Conte, who takes players who we bring in aren't that good, and they become great. And when we get the good players in, then they should become great players. And that's what I think, I mean, Adam, you're right. I mean, Sessegnon, we all thought was going to give us something that nobody else had given us, running down on that left side. But frankly, in the 2 seasons, he's given us nothing. Plus, also, I think the one thing that's really important, Ray, is to undo the damage and the pain that Mourinho and Nuno together inflicted upon the spirit and the core of the team, because they destroyed a lot of players.
Yeah, I agree.
Souls out, and they left the shells of themselves. I mean, what Mourinho did with Bale was a disgrace. Absolute disgrace. We have a player who basically scored us 16 goals from the bench. Nuno left us with a situation where we're -7. We got the worst goal scoring record. I mean, Newcastle scored more goals than Tottenham have. What's happened to the overall team right from top to bottom in the decay, that has got to be arrested, and we've got to turn it around. And that's what our hope is now. This guy's going to do that.
Eric, I mean, because I just wanted to say, this is one question to you, Eric, before you start. Is Nuno is a spectacularly bad appointment. Everybody realized that. The style of football was disgraceful. The guy had no character, blah, blah, blah. The only way that Paratici and Levy could sort of get that is to make such a massive, brilliant appointment like Conte. Do you agree with that? That's the only way they could deflect away. Now, everybody's concentrating on Conte and not how bad Nuno was.
Exactly. And that's the only way we can just change the atmosphere in the club around. Same with the fans. I mean, look, Levy and Paratici is already doing wonders on us because we came up into this live stream already happy and all that stuff. So clearly it's working. And but like Jamie Carragher said, it's not a bad sacking. It was just a bad appointment to begin with. I mean, he was our 8th choice. The players are not stupid. The players knew that they didn't want him, but he was our 8th choice. So it was kind of a loss to begin with, and I knew it wasn't going to work out. I wanted it to, always give the manager a chance, but it was a question on how long he was going to stay. And since we're bringing up players we haven't mentioned all day, Conte, we know it's going to be a back 3. So whether it's a 3-4-3 or 3-5-2, I mean, we got to raise the question of Brian Hill. He's brought in to be a creative winger on the left. And if we want to implement him into the team, which I think we should, because he's very good, he's very creative, and I feel like he can break into the first team. So I would say a 5-2-3. Whether you play him on the left and sacrifice Son by playing him on the right, or because Son and Hill best positions are on that left, and so we know Kane's going to be in the middle, but it's just a question on who you're going to put left and right.
Okay. Adam, are any of the new signings under threat? You think like Romero, Royal, Hill? Do you think Conte is not going to fancy some of them and they could be under threat, or are they all okay?
No, I think they'll be okay up until January. Obviously, they've only just come in. Paratici, will state that it's still settling into the game, still settling into the life. They say that some players take 6 months to get used to the Premiership. Mm-hmm. And the way of living in the UK, some just don't ever click and move on straight away, and they regain their form and become the player that should have been. So I think they'll be okay. I don't think there'll be any issues there. I think there'll be daily chats with Paratici, Hitchin, and Conte, and they'll be talking constantly on who they like. Hitchin and Paratici will be working on scouting players as well. Conte's brother is part of the setup at Spurs, so he's technical coach. He worked with him at Juventus and Chelsea as well, so he knows the game in and out. So I just think it's got such a brilliant coaching team that is just going to get the best out. Plus, I think we've got the best scouting system now. Hitchin, who knows the Premiership, he knows the Championship. He's quite well known abroad. You've got Paratici, who knows the Italian league, Spanish league. I just really hope that Levy keeps his nose out and just doesn't cause any problems and just let these football guys do the football. Levy stick to the finance and selling naming rights and getting NFL games in boxing. Guns N' Roses are next year. Get them. Just let the football guys do the football. and we'll be fine. We'll be absolutely fine.
Cam, I mean, yeah, thanks for that. Cam, what about this? What has he said he's going to give him money to spend. He's giving him assurances to money to spend. It's not another gentleman's agreement like he had with Harry Kane. Is it? He said, "You could have 100 million, buddy. Just come."
Well, the thing is,
Conte would have asked for a bit more than that. He's a bit more savvy than that, isn't he?
I think so. I think that them, the thing that we've all got to be thinking about here is that we all knew Nuno's number was up some time ago. We all knew that he needed to be out. Conte coming in 24 hours of Nuno being out doesn't mean that they panicked and they brought him in. This talks must have been taking place for a while. I'm sure you probably all agree, right? And must have been thinking about it. Well, I think 2 or 3 games back, Nuno's attitude in the last 3 games was a dead man walking. He didn't seem to care. He didn't seem to worry. Harry Kane didn't care. Nobody cared. There wasn't a player on the pitch apart from Son and Mora who actually gave credit. So somebody must have known something big was going to happen. I mean, Nuno was just saying the thing, oh, who cares? I'm not going to be here anyway in a little bit.
He would say the same thing every time. We have to improve. We have to improve.
Hi, Shahid.
We need to.
Hi there. How you doing?
Together.
Sorry. We've got a new fan, Shahid, who's joined us. Welcome, Shahid. Welcome to the chat. We've got
Thank
Adam.
you.
Come on.
Hi there.
Shahid, give us your view on the appointment of Conti.
Well, obviously, Conte's a big name, and he's of course welcome to Spurs. I believe he's proven he's worth sort of weight in gold. But I do feel sorry for Nuno because I don't think so. It was his fault totally. He proved what he could do at Wolves with a sort of mediocre budget, not even actually substandard budget, and still get the results and get them up to a position where they were contenders, well, good contenders, even probably break into the Europa League and things like that. But when he came on, he had, I would say, a lot of baggage. Levy is probably the most at fault for a number of years. He got rid of Pochettino when we were doing good. Obviously, he had a bit of lull time towards the end, but I think they should have still kept him on. Then, it took months for them to appoint a manager. So the players obviously didn't get the morale boost they needed, etc., whatever it is. Going into a cup final with a manager that was younger than the players themselves, with little experience. I'm not saying Ryan Mason wasn't a good manager or whatever it is, but for him to step up into that big role was, I'd say, quite a big responsibility. I think Levy has to go. I personally think, because he's just been absolutely, you see, they don't want to spend money. They just want to make money.
Well, I think that's all changing now, Shahid. He said he's going to give him 100 million. He's paying him 50 million a year. 150 million.
Well, that's
Adam,
good,
did you want to come in there?
Sorry. Go.
Yeah. I totally agree. I'll throw this into the mix. I don't know why, because Nuno was 8th choice, why we just didn't give it to Mason. We couldn't get the managers we wanted. Most of them turned us down. Why not give it to Mason until Conte, Pochettino, Potter at Brighton, or whoever would have come? You'd save so much negative press, so much money. We could have planned better. So, yeah, but I definitely agree. Levy should have gone 20 odd years.
We all know what the
let's just take Paul's point.
Okay.
Please just back him enough. I totally agree with you.
Totally.
Enough is enough, Paul. You're right. Let's just let's back him to the hill. But one thing, Cam, you said that Graham Potter's never going to come to Tottenham. Why should he come? Yet the better manager is probably 3 or 4 times better than Potter has come. So where does that leave your prediction?
About Graham Potter.
Why is we're not good enough for Graham Potter, but we're good enough for Antonio Conte?
Oh, I think Conte was out of work. Conte's
he doesn't need the money.
Hold on a minute. I didn't want Potter. You did. I always wanted Conte, and I will never, ever walk away from that comment. My view very clearly is that, look, I hear what I have absolutely no sympathy for Nuno whatsoever. I don't think he was ever a fit for Tottenham. I'm not saying he was a bad manager. He might be the best manager on the planet. But like I said, you don't get a bowel surgeon to perform brain surgery. I mean, there was a team that he's going to be a good fit at. Now, if Nuno went to Burnley, I think he'd do fantastic. I think if Nuno went to Southampton, he might not do so good, but I'm sure he'll do good in a lot of different teams, but not at Tottenham Hotspur with those players. He did not have the skills or the ability to get the best out of our players. Why do we love Conte? We haven't seen passion like Conte. Even his statement was better. And what Tottenham love, and we've always had in the past, is that passion of those fans. And I remember that stadium of 36,000. The old stadium was closed in. No one liked to go there because that screaming and that shouting and that passion that we had for the game. We've lost it over the last few years after the Champions League final. Most teams get to the Champions League final and kick on from there. Tottenham did the absolute opposite and went right back. And we did that, and our ambition was shown very clearly. All this stuff about money this, money that, levy out, levy everywhere, we have no control over that. It's just us blustering because, let's face it, the only way you got control over it, if you've got £4 billion in your back pocket, then you might be in a position to say something about it. But the fact is, they need to now put their money where their mouth is. And we know, all of us here know, if you're going to get a manager like Conte, you're going to have to give him the money. Otherwise, he wouldn't be there. And that also gives us the optimism.
Go on, Shahid. Go on, mate.
Yeah, sorry. You said, we can't, as fans, can't do anything. But it's proven fact that fans have kicked out owners over the years. If they decide to walk away from not going to the matches, not buying any tickets, they will be held accountable for that.
Yeah.
Levy, the reason he appointed Conte, had not this been problem, sort of Nuno resigned, left, or whatever it is at his own will, he wouldn't have got Conte in because he'd demand more money to be spent. Yeah. But now his job is on the line. Yeah. His credibility
Levy,
is on the line.
This is what you're saying, Shahid, is self-preservation for Levy. There were Levy out chants, etc. So it's self-preservation, isn't it, Adam?
Yeah,
bringing in Conte, 150 million, we win the league or get top four, we'll all be saying Levy's a bloody genius.
Exactly, but why didn't he do it earlier? Why is it taking him so long to do this?
He didn't want to spend the money.
Guys, one at a time. Go on, Adam.
I just want to be clear. I'd never say Levy's been a genius if we win the league, win the cup, or anything.
By luck,
let's just get that out there right now.
Fair enough.
But yeah,
sorry, just one.
Sorry, go on.
It's just you look at Levy. He didn't want to pay the 15 million to Mourinho. Cup final, we could have won at least because he's a master tactician for those sort of games. Yeah, he somehow grafts out a win. We were almost at the final. We could have won the first silverware in God knows how many years, but he didn't want to pay Mourinho the 15 million. So what did he do? A week or two before the actual match, he got rid of him. So Levy's looking at always money. This is the guy's thing: is greed. He doesn't want when the Arabs come in. Yeah. They spend money. They don't care about how much it costs. They worry about their concern is we want to win trophy. But you have a look at Levy's track, all it is, and before him, Alan Sugar, it's about making profit. That's all it is.
You don't need to convince me on what Levy's about. I know what Levy's about. He's a venture capitalist.
Exactly.
He's an accountant at the end of the day. He's an accountant, isn't he?
The thing is how he come across on the Amazon documentary that he protested that he looks after the Spurs family, which he calls the employees. He wanted to put them on furlough until everyone kicked off, and he changed that. He's all about money. I agree with Cam in ways. The only way they're going to go is if they get bought out and they make a lot of profit, or the fans do what Newcastle did and they boycott the stadium. It affects the revenue of the tickets, the merchandise, sponsorships. That's the only way. You cut them off.
Yes.
at the sixth string.
Listen,
of the
guys.
money.
Listen, guys. Today we signed one of the best managers in
Yeah,
the,
we should
in
be
the
happy
world,
today.
right?
Yeah.
We should be celebrating it rather than turning.
There's
it into a
nothing
bashing.
wrong with the odd bit of Levy bashing. Come
No,
on.
there probably
No.
isn't, but not maybe today. But if he doesn't give, if Conte in 3 months' time he comes on TV and expresses his anger why he can't shift the deadwood and why he can't bring in new players, then I'll be the first in line to do the bashing. But right now, what I want to be saying is, hey, we've got a guy, we've got a chance. Suddenly, we can get our passion back that we haven't had for a long time. Nuno actually laid me down on Saturday and drained the blood out of my neck slowly. I was
Drain the
nothing
swamp.
left.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all were turning into zombies. I was turning into a Tottenham zombie, and actually, for finally, we're getting some passion back. I feel passionate today. I don't know about you guys.
But Adam, no, I totally feel 100% passionate. I'm in a good mood. But Adam, I just want to, or Adam or Eric, one of you guys answer this for me. Has he got something in writing? Because nobody's going to leave you on his word. Because Kane had a gentleman's agreement, nothing happened. What has he had to convince him that he's going to get money to spend? Somebody tell me that, please.
He's coming in for.
Sorry. I think it's been documented. Simon Jordan on TalkSport said it perfectly, and he said that the difference now with Paratici and Levy is Paratici has got a way of talking to Daniel Levy and saying, right, this is what we need. This is what it's going to cost. If you want to achieve this, if you want to make more revenue, this is what you need to do. And I think he acts as that glue between Conte and the others on the board as well. So I think that's what we've got in our favour. If it was just Conte and Levy, I think Conte will be gone next week because he'll work out very quickly what Levy's like.
Yeah.
So I think we'll be okay.
Well, we're going to be okay until the 2023, where he's got the contract, I believe.
Yeah, but with an option to extend if he done well, which I think is not a bad thing. There's if it's not working out, then both people could just part ways amicably. I don't think there's an issue with that, Shahid.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But I think Conte will do a great job.
Yeah, I hope so. Anyway,
if he gets he's asking for.
Yeah, this is my worry actually, because I don't want to hear in January Conte saying, "I said I was going to get 150 million, you're not giving me anything." So, Eric, I'm going to ask you again. Maybe you can give me an answer. What has convinced him to come, and what makes him think he's going to get that money?
His friend
Paratici has told him he's going to get it. Yes, so he's trusted Paratici. So his next on the line if Levy says no.
Exactly. So I think the Paratici era has started officially today because he's got the manager. He got his first choice manager that he wanted back in the summer. He got it now. We've seen these manager and director of football duos. We've seen Pep Guardiola and I am not able to pronounce his last name. At Man City, you have Klopp and Roberts at Liverpool. We finally have a duo with a head football mind and a head football coach. So we finally have that duo. So the new era starts officially today. And how he's going to get that money, that's something Levy probably has deals worked up, whether it's stadium rights, another sponsorships, because we got that new sponsorship on our training kit. So it's going to be extrinsic deals outside to bring in the revenue.
So Cam, thanks for that. Cam, is Conte going to say to Paratici, these are the players I want, just go and get them? Or is Paratici going to have some influence in that? How's that going to work?
I think what's going to happen first is that Conte is going to remodel the current squad. He's going to have to get the best out of what we've got. He's going to have to, for himself, identify what he thinks is the deadwood. We all know what we think is the deadwood. We all know what we want out, but we want to know what Conte wants out. And we want to know what he's going to want to get rid of. And on that basis, I don't see Conte as the kind of manager who's going to come in and think that the magic wand of a whole load of brand new players is going to suddenly make us world-class winners. One thing that Conte did say in the past was that if you want to be a fantastic team, then you've got to pay the price for it. And you've got to buy the expensive players. Expensive players make good teams. But the point is, Tottenham's experience of buying expensive players, Ndombele, Sanchez, and I even believe Musa Sissoko has not been very good. And if we carry on throwing money like that around, we're going to be back to where we were. And I don't think that's what we're going to get from Conte. I think what we're going to get from Conte is an improvement in the current squad, getting a better movement and structure out there, getting somebody who actually understands how to play football because he's played football, at the highest level, and then add what the pieces that he feels is missing to take us to the next level. If he keeps the squad as it is, would he get us to top 4? I'm not sure. If he gets Harry Kane back to the best place that he is, maybe if he gets the back sorted out with Romero. It's 3 good players that we did bring in this season. We brought in Romero, we brought in Emerson, and we brought in Brian Hill. Now, 3 of those, nobody's had a problem with those 3 signings. That's the first time in a long time where we've been able to say that we brought in 3 players. That's not Vinicius or the wrong Fernandez or whoever the hell else we kept trying to bring in to plug the gap. These 3 look like they could be real good players. But we haven't had a manager who can get the best out of them. And I think that's where we need to be concentrating on with Conte right now.
Okay, fair point. Shai, do you think that's a good point, that Conte will get the best out of this squad? Because it's not really a bad squad.
Yeah, but first of all, I think he has to get the morale up because they've been bashed so much, basically, and then get the fans on their side as well, on the players' side, etc., and the manager's side. Once you get that, come the January window, he knows what he wants. He knows what he needs to do to build a team, but to gel them is going to take a good few months probably.
Yep.
But any manager with his status can do that faster than your average manager who comes in or whatever it is. So there is a lot of hope in this, but let's just see what it plays out, because making too much speculation, backfire, whatever it is. But at least we're all happy that Conte is here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm sure everybody else is really excited. I'm really excited. And the biggest thing that's going to make me excited is going to turn Steven Bergwijn into a world-class right back. And then
I'm willing to bet
Cam is going to have to go and eat humble pie, lots of humble pie.
I don't know what we're going to bet, Cam, but I'm pretty sure Bergwijn's going to still be here after the January transfer window, and he will be in the starting lineup.
Bergwijn's not going anywhere, I don't think.
No, I don't think he's young. He's got the.
Forget about Livy out.
Hold on, Cam, 1 second. Let Shai speak.
Bergwijn out.
No, I was just saying that Bergwijn he's a young guy. He's powerful. He's a fast runner. He can outpace a lot of people. I think he just needs the right positive sort of guidance because he's young still. But Harry Kane, going back to Harry Kane, I don't know. Maybe we should get rid of him and get the money and invest that in, because I think he's just completely he's mentally not there with the Tottenham game or Tottenham as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, let's go around the panel. Adam, what would you do? I think I know the answer, but I'm going to ask you anyway. What would you do? Would you rather have a Harry Kane like he was last season, or would you just want to sell him in January?
Well, I said sell him, but now
that's based on his current performances.
Well, that was based on him being completely checked out before he even kicked a ball. But
okay, but what if he gets back to the form of last year?
Yeah, like I put earlier, he's in a different situation now. He's got a manager who actually wins things. Does he need to go anywhere unless he wants to get a bigger paycheck? So is his mentality going to change? I think it is. And Conte will know that. He will know, like I said, he's got till January. So he will know in the next couple of months if he's going to get the best Harry Kane back, or if he's going to get the reject, checked out Harry Kane and say, right, okay, yep, he can go to Man City or whoever's going to put up the dollar. So I think we're in the best position at the moment.
Okay, excellent. Cam, a fully firing Harry Kane, or do we just sell him in January? What do you want?
Well, right now, I think that we're going to get a fully fired Harry Kane. I believe that in the next 5 games, he's going to score at least 10 goals. I think you're going to see a completely different structure to the team. What we'd like to see is resurrecting the partnership between Son and Kane, which is critical to the way that Conte's run all his teams in the past. He needs those two firing. But the other thing that what I think Conte needs to bring back, which Mourinho spent years destroying, is a third player that can contribute goals. Because last year we had Gareth Bale with 16. This year we've got Ndombele with 1. And we haven't got anybody that can come in, and that's where I think he's going to be putting his work. He's going to have to get we attack Harry Kane a lot, and he's been sloppy, and he's been poor, and he's been lethargic, and everything else. But tell me who's been passing him the ball, who has been giving him anything, where has he been getting anything? Every time Tottenham, we start every game as if we're 5-0 up, and irrespective of the score, we end every game as if we're still 5-0 up. And that has got to stop, because there was no forward play. It doesn't take a genius to work out what needs to be done. You probably didn't even need a Conte to work out what's to be done. Now we've got the best of the best is going to be able to structure that team properly. So I'd say Kane to maybe not get the golden, not the way that Mo Salah's playing. He ain't going to be golden boot this year, but he's going to be well back up there. But I want to see who's going to contribute to the goals, because no team can depend on two players to score all the goals. Mora's going to step up with 10, 15 or somebody else.
Before I come to Eric, I just want to ask Cam one last question quickly. How does, and Adam, feel free to take it, how does Conti impose his, like, he's the leader, he's in charge, his way is going to be the only way? How does the manager impose that type of thing?
I think there's two things here. One is respect as a player. Because anyone who used to watch Italy on Channel 4 in the 90s in England, or can always remember Conte with his hair. You thought he'd been bald by now, but he's had a few transplants. But flying around. It was a fantastic player to watch. It was an absolute fantastic player to watch. And those guys know this guy won everything as a player. He's won everything where he is. And his reputation precedes him. They know he's a hothead. They know he's somebody who's very, very passionate and opinionated, and you get in with that or you don't. And he's also somebody you can get behind. He's not one of these flip-floppy type managers that you don't know what they're thinking, you don't know where you stand, you don't know what they do, or a Mourinho iPad manager who pulls it up and says, you pass here, you stand there, you go there, you know, like the piece of Lego or something. I mean, this guy is going to instill some passion up their butts, and if they don't like it, he's going to tell them they don't like it, and they'll be gone.
Okay, great. Eric, we're going to be wrapping up now. Just tell us your final thoughts on Harry Kane and where they should stay or go.
He should stay, obviously. I mean, I think hiring a world-class manager in Conte would motivate him to stay now. You know, like I said earlier, if it was any other hiring, I wouldn't see – I mean, if it was any other hiring but Conte, I would see Kane still leaving the door in January or next season. But now I feel like Kane had – I think – Conte and Kane would be motivated to stay because of the pairing and Conte's stature and Kane's stature. I feel like they will love each other, and maybe Kane would be motivated to play for Tottenham again, even though that really shouldn't be a problem considering he's our golden boy. But okay. I mean, I'm happy. But before we leave, I don't know if you can ask the question. I mean, granted, it is a Europa Conference League game on Thursday, and what should be our starting lineup? You know,
good point. Very good point.
Good question.
Good, very good question. Shahid, let's go to you. What do you think should be our starting lineup for the Conference League match against Vitesse?
To be honest, we need our big guns. That's what we need, because we need to win this game. Put some, sorry, just bear with me. Put some passion back in. Get the senior guys up and running. Make them feel that they can achieve something. And I think the first game is always going to be passionate. New manager, new style of play. So they're going to all try and prove to the manager that, they're worthy of playing all the time. So I think it's the first game probably, or second game under the manager. And hopefully, I think, you need to put all the guns, Harry Kane, Song, Bergwijn, if it's substitution, whatever it is, Yeah, I don't think so. What Nuno was doing was putting the B team or even the C team in and playing these games. You can't. We need to win something.
Yep, no, I agree. Just finally, Paul, thanks for your question, mate. Cannot sell Harry Kane. Besides, I'm probably the only world-class player we have. I think we all agree with that, mate. It's no wonder he's deflated. Yeah, I mean, Harry Kane has got every reason to be deflated, hasn't he, Adam?
Absolutely.
They all have.
Yeah, they have. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I've been saying weeks and weeks, he's been a fantastic servant, but if he wants to go, then he needs to go and reinvest. That situation's completely changed now. He's got Conte, he's got a winner. So
Yeah.
Harry Kane's going to definitely change, and he's going to start scoring goals. The only issue I have is I don't want Spurs to be again a Harry Kane team. I want the other players to step up and go, yeah, we're as good as Harry Kane. We can be a world-class player, and let's show it.
I can't see Conti accepting Kane dropping so deep to get the ball and the box is empty.
No,
There's nobody there.
no,
I can't see that happening myself.
Not at all.
No, and I think
Nuno had him defending out corners.
Yeah,
and
it's
it's
ridiculous.
like, why not stay up front? Let other people do that, and then lay it to you. Why have a striker? Oh, it's just mad.
It's crazy.
Mad.
Okay, guys, let's wrap it up now. We had a really good session there, an hour and 45. Thanks for everybody, for Adam, for Cam, for Eric, for Shahid, for joining for the first time. I want to give a big shout out before we go to Amanda Fazy, Josival, Grandpa Stevens, Terry Wright, GWC, Kev Alexander, Sam Fisher, Paul Brown, Most Blunted.
Awesome questions.
Terry Wright, great questions, guys. We really appreciate it. Please keep joining it. Please share the word. We really like your questions, and it really makes it an interactive thing. And please also, we've got this WhatsApp number. You can ring in and we can hear your voice. And you can call and we can pipe you into the recording so you can be part of it. So please try that next time. Mm-hmm. Let's finish now by going around all the panel and getting final thoughts on it and hopes for the future. So let's go alphabetically. So Adam.
Cloud9, come on Spurs. I can't wait to see what happens.
Brilliant. Eric?
New era starts now with Conte and Paratici. New era. Let's keep forward. Keep forward. Yep. No longer have to hear... We're going to have a tactical manager that's going to win over the players immediately, and there should be no excuse. So I'm ready to go.
Yep. Thanks. Cam?
The passion's back. I think we need to see that stadium full. We need to see the roaring fans, and we need to see some passion on the field. I like to see that high press back. I like to see a high energy team. Right now, what only thing we've seen is a bunch of zombies walking around on the pitch. Now let's hope some of those zombies have got some blood in them again. And the blood, guts, the fury that he brings to the game. It's going to be fantastic to see, and it's going to be fantastic to watch. And I look forward to screaming at that TV as we carry on from glory to glory.
Okay, excellent. It's my turn. Then it'll be Shahid, last but not least. Basically, I am extremely happy that we've got one of the best managers in the world. We're going to get some money. Things couldn't be better, I think I've got a feeling I'm going to wake up. Somebody's going to wake up and it's all be a dream. I hope I'm not right. I'm pinching myself and I can feel it. So hopefully I'm not in a dream. But things can only look better for us now. We're on the way up, and I can't wait to beat that Woolwich and the Spammers. All these guys, they're really worried about this because they know how lucky we are to have Conti. Let's not get this wrong, guys. We are extremely lucky to have this guy as our manager. So we should make the most of it, I think. It's great news. Shahid, going to give the last word to you, buddy.
Glory days, all I say. Hopefully we can move on from this bad saga and watch the money flow in, and then hopefully get some silverware finally.
Excellent.
At least we know that we've got the best chance at the moment, or with Conte. Definitely.
So thanks everybody, to all our viewers. Thank you very much for joining. Please share the word with all your fellow Spurs fans. We'd love to get more great questions. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Let the Conte era begin.
Let it begin. Yes.
Take care, guys. All the best. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye. Adam, you still there? Can you stay there for a minute, Adam? Yeah, I think what we're going to do, Adam, is I'm going to try and get somebody to, this guy's, look, unfortunately, we've finished the show now, but I'll just put your question up. Benedict, are the pre-expectations now? What do you expect of this year? It's going to be forgivable? I think he's going to get a good passage to do whatever he wants, Benedictions, and I think he's got the whole season to get his team in order and to do everything. So I think that's what's going to happen. Thanks very much. You could only join late. Don't worry about it.